Look at this freaking mess. I'm just going to make a quick update video here for you guys. As I said in my last video, the LA150's hopefully going to be sold before the season really picks up, because spring is the prime season for selling and buying lawn tractors, and so this tractor's still got life left. It's coming up on 300 hours, so I've been tuning it up and putting a little bit of money into it to, you know, prolong the life of it, because these things aren't built to last that long, but someone could enjoy it, like I said, for a small lawn. So I've just been doing little things to it and tuning it up. Like, this is a spring tune-up on a much larger scale, as you can see. As you can see, the whole thing is apart. I'll just go over this quick stuff. I mean, I've been making a lot of runs down to John Deere, doing things during the week when I have like no homework and things like that, and I have time to work on this. So I've replaced the air filter and the pre-cleaner because they're dirty. Just today I changed the oil and the filter. I had to go to my uncle's shop and get a wrench and get the right oil filter wrench, and got it on. Put a new fuel filter on, you know, just the typical stuff. I've only had to change the fuel filter once. Change the oil filter several times, like you should, because the oil is one of the most important things that keeps these small engines going, because they're the only things that really keep the motors cool. Let me put the fuel line back in here. Also got two new Champion spark plugs. On the bigger tractors, like the old 2-cylinder tractors, they say Champion spark plugs are no good, but they're fine on the, they seem to work the best on the small engines, so I replaced both of them. As you can see, I cleaned everything up. I used half a can of degreaser and 2.5 rolls of paper towels, but I got it all cleaned up. I cleaned up all the visible grease. I mean, there's still grease on the inside, but I can pressure wash all that. I need to get like under the frame and all that stuff too, but I'll get to that point. Got most of the oil off from the valve covers from when we did a valve adjustment a couple years ago. There was oil all over it from when we took the valve covers off, and it just kind of sat there and made grease. So I didn't do any carburetor work. I might run a little bit of seafoam through it, because I have a little bit of seafoam left, but I cleaned it all up. So yes, a new fuel filter, new oil filter and oil, air filter, spark plugs. I cleaned everything up, degreased it, and here's the old oil actually. And an old farmer's trick to do with used oil is to, because it's been, you know, used, it's a little broken down. It actually coats. You can use it to coat things to keep them from rusting. So I have the mower deck off. It's a 54-inch deck. It's in decent shape. I mean, I've had to do little things to it here and there. I had to replace one idler pulley a few years ago. I replaced one of these spindles. I think it was that one. I replaced a spindle a couple years ago too. But this thing mows pretty good. It's got decent suction for its size, and it's powder coated, so the powder coat's starting to peel off. But it's been doing that for as long as I can remember. I have to get my pressure washer out and clean that up, because that's the best way to clean these decks. As you can see, the tires have been going bald. That's because the cheap bushings they used in it were going bad. So there's a kit you can buy that upgrades the bushings to regular bearings. And I went down to John Deere and got a set, and actually realized I needed to get a second set, so I just went to the hardware store and found out I could have gotten the same ones for much cheaper. So I'm kind of pissed about that, but at least I know they work. They just use them little bearings in there, and they're sealed, so they're good to go. Because what was happening, I think you saw in the last video, the wheels are pigeon-toed, and that's what's causing the treads to wear down. But I'm just going to put fresh grease on the spindles, and I'm going to pressure wash all that crap and put, you know, fresh grease on the shaft and inside this fitting right here, and in the wheels too, because the wheels actually have their own grease fittings. They don't have dry bearings like these do. So that's basically what's going on. I mean, it does look like a bit of a mess, but I'm going to put this whole thing back together, and then like I said, the only thing I still have to do, I can't put the deck back on it because I need to pressure wash it. I sharpened the blades too of my uncle's shop. He's got the good equipment to do that. I put a real nice sharp, he's OCD about having sharp blades, so I put a nice sharp angle on it. He taught me how to get it extra sharp, sharper than most people cut them. Or sharpen them, I mean. And these are gator blades, by the way. That's why they have those teeth. They make a lot of clippings, but they're mulch blades. I don't have a mulch kit with it. I just have these regular mulch blades, but they work really good. So let me start getting to work on this. I mean, I still have to just put the new bearings and the caps on the wheels there and stick them on. Put the hood and everything back on it. And then the big thing, like I said, is getting under the hood, under the dash, and under the deck with the pressure washer. But I might have a bad hose on my pressure washer because if I remember correctly, it was leaking last time I used it. So I might just have to patch that up and use it as it is. But so that's what it looks like right now. Pretty soon I'll get this mess cleaned up. So I'm going to get started on it now. Alright, so it didn't take too long, but the biggest problem I had was trying to get the bearing slid onto the spindle shafts. I did get them put in on the one. I had them in on the one wheel. I had to put them in on the other wheel. And like I said, the one set of bearings were from John Deere. The other set were from my local hardware store, and I'm kind of pissed that I didn't buy them all from the hardware store because they're cheaper and they're the same size. Actually, the ones from the hardware store were on this side here, and they wouldn't actually stay inside the wheel. They kept popping off, and I'd slide the wheel onto the shaft. So I sprayed with WD-40 and just pushed it all on with the mallet. I just tapped it on, and the bearing stayed in place. So that's good. And then I got a new washer to go behind it, and the washer was a little big, but the hole on the inside wasn't big enough because it was sitting on top of the lip for the bearings, which was kind of strange because the old washers didn't do that, but maybe it's just a design flaw. It shouldn't really bother. And then I got an extra C-clip that I had sitting around and stuck it on there, and I boiled the little yellow bearing caps, these little rubber caps, and fit them on there. I just need to clean it up. I'll use degreaser and stuff and wipe all that crap up. Then I put the hood back on it, got that all buttoned up and good to go. It looks real clean underneath. And it's not leaking any oil out of the filter, so that's on good and tight. I didn't want to over-tighten it because it's an aluminum block and you'd strip the threads. Now I just need to get gas in it. I can pull it outside and get it in the sun, and then I'll get the pressure washer out and see if I can use it. Like I said, I think the pressure washer hose has a crack or something in the line because I remember correctly last time it was leaking. So that's the last thing I have to do. I mean, I have to pressure wash the tractor and underneath of it, and under the dash and stuff, and under the hood and underside of the deck is the biggest thing. But let me get some gas in this thing, and then we'll start this up. We'll start the 210 up and pull them out. I just put gas in the tank of this thing, so let's see if it does anything. Haven't run it with new oil in it yet. And the reason, for you guys wondering, the reason it didn't start in the last video was because it wasn't getting gas. I took the flywheel cover off because I thought maybe the coils were shot from sitting in the cold, but they were fine. It was getting spark, and now it's got new plugs, so this will be the first time it's run with new fuel filter, plugs, and oil. It's being tricky for some reason. Yay! Not too shabby. Sounds like it's not running quite right, but it is a little cold. Even these twin cylinder motors seem to have a little bit of a mist to them, but I mean, there's really not much you can do about that. I've never messed with a carburetor on not just on this motor, but on a twin cylinder. That's something I need to get into, but I like the opposed twin motors more than V-twins. But yeah, that's all they like to use these days. So haven't even greased it. It steers nice and easy at a standstill. Not bad. At this point, like I've said, the last thing I have to do is pressure wash the mower deck and the around the frame and everything. I mean, it does have a layer of dirt on it, but that's expected, and it is 8 years old, so it's got scratches and stuff in the plastic or fiberglass. No, these are plastic. Those are fiberglass. I've been out of it for a while, but. Alright, another quick update. I just got done undercoating the mower deck with the old oil and coated it nice and even and greased up the spindles and everything. Couldn't believe how dry they were. It hasn't been too that long since I last greased them, but got everything put back together, used never sees on the bolts. It's great stuff. It really is. Saves you a lot of headaches. That's where all my grease went. I need to clean that up. I replaced that spindle a couple years ago, but you can see it's all undercoated, ready to go, and should protect it from rust for a while. But unfortunately, with the way these decks are used, it's hard to prevent these things from rusting completely. So, but I got everything all pressure washed. It's all clean. I mean, the deck still has a layer of dirt on it, but there's not much you can do about that. We got the tractor all cleaned up, most of the grass and dirt and stuff out from around the dash, and I should have gone back and wiped it over again, wiped it down, but it doesn't look too bad. I'll probably hose it off one more time once someone buys it right before they come to pick it up. So I'm gonna run it a little bit and mount the mower deck on, and the last thing I have to do is grease the I'm working on greasing the front axle. They have the grease fittings there, and then these actually, surprisingly, they have grease fittings inside the wheels, as you can see there. And then there's actually one that I never knew about until recently, the front axle pivot. Never knew these things had them there, but you might be able to see it. It's in there. But I'll hit that up. I just have to get another stick of grease. My grandfather's the one who has the grease gun and all the grease and oil and stuff, so I'm just going to have to run over there and get a new stick of grease. But I'm going to mount the mower deck up now and then finish greasing the axle, and she'll be ready to go. So, there we go. Alright, so it's about 4 days later. Today's Wednesday. I last worked on this thing on Sunday, I believe. I showed in the last clip, I pressure washed it and everything, got it real clean and looking nice, and I took that a little further, and I finished the tune-up finally. Here's a better look at it. I mean, I pressure washed all the grease. There was a lot of grease on the spindles and everything. Got it all off, and I got the grease gun, and I greased the two spindles, and I hit that spindle I was telling you about, the center axle pivot fitting. The one that most people don't even know about. It says it in the manual, but in the 7 years I've had this thing, I never really even paid attention to it, so that's something you want to be careful of. But I got it all back together. She looks real clean, and I mean, it's not perfect. It's got scratches and everything, and as you can see, but I live on the edge of the woods, so going under tree branches and stuff. I got the mower deck back on it too. That was pretty simple to do. The mower deck on this is really easy to mess with, even though it's big and heavy, but you get used to it pretty quick. At the end of the last season, I had some trouble with the deck being unlevel because it wasn't cutting level, so I tried adjusting this front yoke here, because that's the only adjustment you can make on it to adjust the height or the leveling of the deck. There's a little nut on there, a jam nut, and you can loosen and tighten it and adjust how high up the deck goes. But these decks are supposed to have a little bit of stagger from the back to the front. The front should be lower than the back. That's just the way they're set up. And I I usually measure. It's not the best way to level a deck. They level it. They tell you to level it by looking at the blades and everything. But I just level it by measuring the height of the center of the gauge wheels, the center of the bushing bolt or whatever you want to call it on the gauge wheel. And I just measured, make sure they're equal distance from the ground. And another thing I never realized was actually I couldn't get them to. This one was this one measured about a ½ inch higher than the one on the other side, and I found out that's because this gauge wheel bracket is welded ½ an inch higher than this one, which is kind of strange, but it's just the way these decks fit, because these decks obviously aren't symmetrical. So they weld the gauge wheels in a different spot, and the gauge wheel on this side was welded a little bit lower than the other one, so it's gonna not be the same height. But I checked it again. I checked the lip on both sides of the deck, and it was actually leveled even left to right, so that was good. So I got to get some gas in this thing yet again. I haven't had a whole lot of gas in it, just because I haven't been using it. So let me get some gas and we'll fire this thing up, and I'll show you the mower deck and everything works. We'll take some pictures and stuff like that. All right, let's get this thing fired up. Wheel looks good. Might take a second for it to crank because it needs to get gas into it. Just needs to get gas through the lines because I ran it out of gas before. Sorry about that, just had to let it warm up for a few minutes. But now it's warm, so I can show you the mower deck and show you how it accelerates and everything. Carburetor's good. It doesn't have a lot of gunk or anything in it. Runs real good. Looking tractor, that's for sure. And not a bad machine for someone who has a big flat wide open yard like me. Good for about an acre. I mean, the K46 transaxle isn't designed to be used on a lot of hills, so it's great for anyone, like I said, who has a nice big wide open flat piece of ground, because that's what these tractors are designed for. And I mean, it cuts really good, and the 54-inch deck gets a lot done, so it's a very good basic tractor. And with the profits, I'm hoping to buy an old tractor like a 316 or 318, because I've been looking for one for a couple years now. And now that I decided to start picking up with snow removal too, I'm going to need a tractor that's got hydraulics and things like that, and has a more heavy-duty blade too. So and I grew up on my uncle's 318. That's why I bought my 210, because it's an older tractor too, and it was within my budget. So, but all this time I've been looking for a 318 or something like it. So I'll definitely find one. I've been saying that for a couple of years now, that I want to find a 318, but I think now's about the time that I'm going to look for one, on top of looking for a pickup truck too, but that'll probably come first. But we'll get this one sold, and should do some good to the next owner who buys it, and get a nice 316 or 318 or something out of it. I like the Kohler powered 300 series tractors too, but the Onin's got a little more power, and you know, all the hours I spend mowing and plowing snow during the day, I don't want to have to worry about, I don't want to have to deal with the Kohler rattle for so long, because it's only, you know, it's only so comfortable for a while. And like I said, the Onin's got more power too. So, but I just wish the grass was green so I could show you how it mows. But everything works good on it. I mean, the hydro is really responsive. Take around the yard real quick. Balls everywhere. Got plenty of power to mow tall grass too. The 54-inch deck is a good size deck, and the 26-horse Briggs & Stratton is a good size motor for it too. So turns pretty sharp too. Takes about a foot or a foot and a half. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm not a big fan of selling equipment as is. I like to do a little bit of tune-up and stuff like that before I sell to someone, so they get a good machine. They know they're not getting a piece of junk. So I'll show you the mower deck real quick. Hopefully she doesn't stall. It's a little loud because it's got the gator blades on it, which are mulch blades, and they create a lot of suction, so the deck's just naturally louder. Safety switches work. You see, it's got real good suction too. The gator blades work great. They just stretch the grass clippings right out, so. Yeah, like I said, the mower deck's a little loud, but I replaced 2 of the spindles since I've had it, so the bearings are in decent shape. I mean, they're not in any, they don't need to be replaced just yet, but we got a few years of life left. And like I said, it has a lot of suction. The mower deck has a lot of suction, so it makes a lot of noise because of the gator blades. But everything works good. The decking gauge is real easy. And I have mowed some pretty tall grass with this because some of my neighbors just love to let their grass get out of hand. So this thing will start easy, and it started a little hard because I had to let it get gas. I just put gas in the tank, but she runs real good. And if any of you guys in my area are interested, let me know. You can put it up for sale on Craigslist or eBay or something like that. But there you guys go. She's all ready to go. Ready for a new owner. And this is the first lawn tractor I ever owned. I mean, it's a very basic tractor, but I was just happy because we got it for a steal, and we needed a mower real quick, and it was green and yellow. So it's a good machine. Good machine for a nice wide open yard. The mower deck's a good size for it. headlights work. Battery holds the charge good. It's got a new voltage regulator. Well, last year we replaced the voltage regulator and stator, so the battery holds a good charge. Starts right up, even in the cold. Cup holders. It's got these little holes. I actually had a canopy on this tractor at one time, but I got rid of it because I had, as you can see, I mow under a lot of trees, so the canopy actually got snagged on a tree one time, just because it was sticking up real high. But you can mount like a tool carrying bucket or a canopy or something like that, or they even have like a little radio and a little fan you can mount to it, and it wires up to the little 12-volt outlet too, which is also cool to have. Hour meter. All clean. There you guys go. Thanks for watching, and thanks to all my subscribers too. I just hit 500, and like I've said before, I never imagined my channel will get that many subscribers. So thanks a bunch for the support, guys, and maybe I'll be able to bring home a nice 300 series like I've said multiple times already, and I've said in the past, but I think it's finally going to be possible this year. I just need to get this thing sold first. I've already been eyeing up a couple, but 300 series will make a good tractor for me. I just need it because I've always wanted one, and I just have a lot more lawns and a lot more driveways to do now in summer and winter. So here you guys go. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe.